block party. That is so cool. And that is so you. But yes, you guys, getting out there and meeting people in person, right? So she's going to be volunteering to plan the block party because her community is pretty new and she's trying to get involved so she can get to know everyone. Yes, like that's so important to like get to know your neighbors, right? Like it's a part of networking, and to know your neighbors is really good, right? Because you build a relationship with them, and essentially it's like you guys are watching out for each other. And if you guys are going to be there for a while, it's like your kids are going to grow up together, right? So it's important to have communities outside maybe the communities that you already know. Like I love our community and I know you guys do too, but it's also great to get out there to see like what other communities you can be a part of and how you can help and how you can volunteer. Um, I remember a long time ago, a few years ago, prior to the pandemic, I was like, you know, I need to volunteer. I need to get out more. I need to network. I need to meet people. And there was this group on Facebook, this really popular group, and Shun actually invited me into it. And from that, they were having their first event. And when they had their first event, I volunteered to help out, right? Because they're like a nonprofit group, or they were then, and they were just asking for volunteers who wanted to come help at the first event. So you guys, I am an introvert. I'm not very social, but I volunteered, and I volunteered to actually sit at the front desk to check everybody in. And I did that strategically because that is how I was able to meet like hundreds of people and all at one time, right? On that, just that one effort. So if you guys can ever have the opportunity to like volunteer, whether maybe it's at your church, maybe it's in your neighborhood, maybe it's in a group that you're a part of, maybe other groups that you're a part of where you guys actually see each other, something that you're interested in, get to do that, because that's how you're going to meet new people, and that's how you're going to see people, because when they see you in person, like there's nothing like belly to belly, because they can really feel your energy. And when you are of service, it puts you in a different light, right? Like if you're always kind of just out there, or only like paying to be at events, and not like volunteering, then it's like you don't really get to know people. People don't really get to know you, right? Like you just kind of like pay and come in and pass by or whatever. So I definitely recommend getting out of your comfort zone, if that is a comfort zone for you guys, and volunteering in places that you're interested in, with people that you're interested in, and just putting your face out there. I don't know much about networking, but I seem to have done a decent job at it. Yeah, that's Shun's field, networking. That's how he met me.
Yes. You know what's crazy?
His best catch ever.
Yeah, you know what?
Yes, Goody. So different. Big energy. Oh, for the sports. Yeah.
Right.
What? Were you going to go over that? Actually, did I read your mind?
I was thinking about networking
That is funny.
because
Well,
I'm going back out.
it naturally fell into networking. I don't know why. It started with sports, and then it started with Verge volunteering, and then I was like, let's talk about like getting out there, like doing something different, right? Like we're always online and at home or at work or what have you, or doing whatever we need to for our kids. What else is there, right? Like what other parts of the community that are you guys? Oh yeah, and then you were talking about community. Like what are you guys doing? Like what city are you a part of? Like what city are you proud to be a part of? And what volunteer opportunities are out there? Like get your guys out, like get your guys, yourselves and even your family too, right?
So when it comes to networking, right, there's, this is why I like to say, because I used to teach people like private networking. Like I was a private networking coach for entrepreneurs and business owners. And so I would teach them something called high status networking. High status networking is exactly what it sounds like. It's networking with high status individuals. And that's like business owners, that is like investors, that is high level real estate agents, that is anyone that you think is in a high status position, such as a celebrity or influencer, right? Someone who has high status, a social status, right? And so when it comes to networking, I like to say this. You're going to network for the rest of your life, right? You're going to network for the rest of your life. So why not get good at it? And so when it comes to networking, right, what Crystal was talking about, in-person events or connecting with other people in person, right? Not just for business, but just for life, right? You just never know who that link is to that leader. And so I was just watching a reel yesterday because I'm starting to post like on my Instagram again. I'm starting to build again. You guys have never seen me build, so you guys are gonna see me build. But basically, one of my old VIP students, right? Because I closed down that program. One of my VIP students, he posted a reel and he was talking about because the question was asked to him, how do you get all your clients? Because he runs a like email marketing company. And so he said, even though my company is all marketing, it's all online, believe it or not, but 90% of the time I get all my clients from in-person networking events, right? Just showing up. And he said that that's the highest conversion that he's experienced, simply because when you get into a room with someone, you're one-on-one with them. They get to feel your energy. They get to feel your voice. They get to feel your intentions. They get to feel what you are doing, right? And so automatically, and I'll share with you guys a few stories about my personal networking experiences, but when it comes to him and his story and him being an online service, like strictly online service, yet he gets all his clients from attending in-person events. That's a clue right there. That's a sign. And I remember how I met him because I'm very proud of him because he's gone through like a very huge transformation. I remember when he was first in a full-time career and a full-time job, and he came to me just connecting with me at an event, and he was he had a full-time career, full-time job, but he wanted to make the leap into entrepreneurship. He wanted to make the leap into business. And so I gave him some skill sets on networking and on business and strategy. And he took it and ran with it. And from 2018 or 19, forget the year, but till now, he's making $50,000 a month in his company. And I spoke with him a few months ago, so it might be more. And he has a few different partners as well, but he's crushing it, from someone who wanted to go and make the leap into entrepreneurship from a full-time job, right? In his own endeavors, through all his trials and tribulations, he was able to make that leap. And one of the biggest key takeaways that he got was, how do I make more income? How do I get more clients? How do I attract them? How do I connect with them? It's through in-person networking. So networking, no matter what, networking, whether you have an online business or you have a brick and mortar business or whatever business it may be, the one thing that I want you guys to understand, for the rest of your life, you will network. Okay. You're going to network for the rest of your life. So why not get good at networking, right? Why not get good at it? Let me just check this down.
Yeah. So I wanted to mention something since we're on the topic of networking. Since I've been in this business, in this industry of network marketing, right? I had to go out there, I had to talk to people, I had to do the thing that I'm not used to doing, because for me, I'm used to just working in businesses, right? Buying businesses, selling businesses, and just working in the business to build them, right? So I just kind of stuck to my own, stuck to what I was good at. I never went out there to meet different people because I was just comfortable being in the office. I mean, I didn't like being in the office, but I was just so busy doing what I was doing. But I feel like a game changer is actually going out there and networking, because when you go out there and network, you're putting your face out there, you're presenting yourself, and there's other people out there that may be looking for your service or maybe looking for someone like you that can help them, right? And so I've met a lot of networkers, I would say over like the last 5, 6 years. And a lot of them actually, like a lot of these business people who network very well have actually had a network marketing background. And it's not the first thing they say, But as I talk to them, they talk to me, they ask me what I do. I kind of tell them about like some of my businesses. And then I go, oh yeah. And then I do network marketing too. And they're kind of, sometimes they're a little surprised, right? They're taken back because most people that do businesses that are just the regular type of traditional businesses, they probably don't also have a background or do network marketing on the side, right? So then they ask me about it. And they ask me about it. I tell them more about it, and they go, oh yeah, like I used to be a part of this company or that company, or I used to do that. So some of the best networkers actually come from network marketing. Like in this industry, it is where you're going to learn a lot of those skills as well, because this is such a huge part of this business. And you have people here helping you, training you, and giving you tips that you can just pop in the chat like, hey, I'm going to go here. Like, what should I do? You know, what should I do? Who should I talk to? And so, yeah. So it was funny because when I met him, I didn't know that about his background until we started talking. And the person that introduced me to him was our business partner, Jeff, right, for the auto shop. And Jeff used to be also in network marketing. And then I met another huge networker before, and they were, you know, in network marketing before they started their own traditional business. So it's pretty insane knowing how many people actually did or touched network marketing before and acquired a lot of skills from it.
Oh yeah, network marketing. I like to say this for anyone who's looking to make the jump into entrepreneurship and you don't have your own business idea or, business vehicle that you want to pursue just yet, network marketing is the way to go. The reason for that, it's low overhead expense, right? In our case, it's $0 overhead expense.
Yeah.
And as long as you're starting to learn from the leadership, like you have the right leaders, the people at the top who are teaching you the mindset, the skill set, the personal development, the resources, the tools, the knowledge, their failures, their mistakes, their successes, their strategies, blah 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 blah.
Etc. etc.
Everything, okay? Like, because everything rises and falls in leadership. So if you have the right vehicle mixed with the right people, mixed with the right product, mixed with the right opportunity, that right there is magical. And then obviously the fifth element is you, right? Are you coachable? Are you a student? Are you open-minded? Do you have a growth mindset, not a fixed one, right? Are you willing to do whatever it takes to achieve your why? So all these different elements, there's so many things that come into the mix, but it just depends on what you want to do, what your goal is, where you want to go with your life, what you want to do with it, right? There's so many different aspects to it, but specifically for yourself, like ask yourself that question, right? Ask yourself the question of, what do you want in your life, right? What roadmap, what roadmap do you want to follow?
You know, I'm
Okay,
right?
I know.
Your hair.
I know. I'm getting it.
Your hair looks fine. It was just funny. I just didn't see it.
Anyways, so network marketing is such a good option to step into and to just experiment with and to just embrace, because especially for those who are full-time jobs, right? They're working full-time, but they want to make that leap into entrepreneurship or start, make some income on the side, like all these things, like network marketing. You don't have to worry about the infrastructure. There's so many different aspects to business on the back end that no one ever sees, no one ever hears about, no one ever talks about, because it's painful to talk about sometimes, right? It's painful to discuss, like, oh, are we gonna make payroll, right? Like, or do we have to like pay this bill that, and where's the money coming from, right? There's many different aspects on the back end of different infrastructures in business. The beauty of network marketing is you don't have to worry about the back end because it's taken care of by the owners, the company, right? The people who are in the operations, the employees in the company, in the network marketing company itself. So that means that you can focus all your time and effort and energy into income producing activities, right? That's all it is. So, and it's that simple. But then as you start to climb the success ladder, you start to make more income, you start to grow a big team, you basically start to reach, can we skip over?
Expand.
Yeah, expand and reach new audiences, new people, new energies. Like there's many different like things that happen, but that's when you start to require a different skill set. That's when you start to require personal development, because when you achieve success that you've never achieved before, it demands a different version of you. And if you're not growing, then you're only dying inside, because that's literally what happens. Literally, this is who you are when you first start, and it's your old beliefs, it's your old habits, it's your old mindset. It's you hungry and being pushed by pain, right? Depending on your situation, being pushed by pain to get to your vision. Yet, if you didn't know about personal development, this is why, like, if you're in network marketing and you don't have personal development attached to network marketing, right? Attached to the company, the vehicle, then when you hit success, when you achieve success, right? You're gonna fall back if you haven't been growing, because that next level of success demands a different version of yourself. That's why it's so important that minimum 10 to 15 minutes per day to listen to something that's positive, something that's developing your mindset, something that's developing your skill set, something that's developing your leadership skills, right? Everything, getting better, becoming the best version of yourself. And so if you're not doing that, I'm telling you right now, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. Like I've made that mistake. Okay. I've made the mistake of starting in 2013. I started to learn about personal development. I started to learn about mentors, about books, about, all these, the mindset, everything. And then 2015 and 2017, that's when I was really like going after it. I was like learning as much as I could. I was getting mentorship from the top of the top, in person, right? I had proximity, right, with people at the top. And then when I went off my own into entrepreneurship, I thought I had it because of the ego. I thought that I was all there. I had all the skill set, I had the experience, I could do it on my own, but I forgot about personal development, the basic fundamental foundation that every single entrepreneurship, right? Every single person who's an entrepreneur, every single business owner, 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, 10 figures. If you're making your first $1,000, you're making your first $100, making that first $1 online, making that first $1 in your business. No matter what, the basic foundation, the fundamental thing is personal development. And I'm going to share with you, there's many stories I can share about that. But for me, I remember this. I spent $25,000. I went into debt for this so I can learn, so I can get better, so I can train myself. But I went into debt, I put it on my credit cards, and I was like, I don't have a backup plan. I'm just going to go. And I invested in a few seminars. And what I realized was I was in a room of 5,000 people, entrepreneurs, business owners, high performance achievers. All of them were successful, right? I was probably the brokest person in the room. All of them were successful from all around the world. 5,000 entrepreneurs, business owners, high performance achievers, parents as well, right? Guess what? All of them lacked one thing: personal development. So when I was hearing all their complaints, when I was hearing all their stories, when I was hearing all their experiences, they're making millions of dollars. The people that I was around, they're making millions of dollars. The group that I was in, the team that I was in that seminar, millions of dollars, successful, achieved a lot, like amazing things in their life. And their complaints to me, I'm like, what the hell is that complaint? Like, why is that such a childish little complaint? Like, that's sweating the small stuff. And literally, that was the pattern I recognized, right? When you're networking, you got to start to learn how to read people. You got to learn psychology. You got to learn, energy. You got to learn how to speak to others and how to receive their information, right? And then identify like who is an asset, who's a giver, who's a taker. Like, there's so many different. We can talk about that on this call, but I'm just listening and reading the patterns. And all these people are successful, great people, yet lack of personal development. If they just knew about the fundamental skills, the fundamental basic foundation of personal development, of sharpening their mind, right? Getting that mindset right from the get-go, in the beginning. Now their success may be 10x more, right? Who knows? But I know for a fact their happiness and fulfillment within would be 10x more, right? Because it's about knowing yourself. It's about how self-aware are you with yourself, with your mind, with your consciousness, with how you are. So mindset, personal development, the basic foundation, the basic fundamental thing. Every single person who's in network marketing, I highly encourage you to do it every single day, minimum 10 minutes to 15 minutes a day of a good book, or listening to a motivational speech or anything positive, okay? Reinforce the positivity. There's so much negativity out in the world, and if you see that, you're absorbing it. You're receiving it. You need to counteract that. You need to be proactive and counteract all the negativity that's out in the world by reinforcing a positive state of mind within. You have to be proactive in it. And not just you, but every single person who's connected with you. If you're not being a beacon of light for them, if you're not being a beacon of hope, of positivity, just by your words, by your actions, by you moving, by you posting on social media, whatever that may be, right? Your energy, sharing your energy to the world. If you're not positive, if you're not one of positivity, one of inspiration, just for yourself, then every single person that's around you is going to pick that up. Okay. They're going to, there's like this quote. They say your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Whatever vibe you're giving out is what you're going to attract back. Okay. Start working on yourself. Be committed to doing it every single day. If you need a recommendation, just ask, right? A good starting place for sure in network marketing is Jim Rohn, 100%. Jim Rohn. And if you want to go deeper into philosophy and learning about how to live your best life, he has something called Live Your Best Life. he has like a 4-hour free seminar training on YouTube. Literally just type in Jim Rohn, Best Life seminar. It's there. I listen to that once a year. Every single year I listen to it. It's my annual thing. It's something that I revisit over and over because the philosophies and the foundations are just too good. Like I cannot miss out on it. It's just like, with your business, right? If you don't build, if you're not focusing on income producing activities and you just let go, for one day, right? What happens? What happens to your business? What happens to your routine, your schedule? Everything's kind of like out of alignment, right? It's consistency over time with all out massive action, continuously getting better, continuously pushing and surpassing your own limitations because you can, because human beings are limitless. We have limitless potential. So don't cap yourself, okay? Don't cap yourself. Keep on surpassing, keep on growing, keep on pushing the boundaries, right? And then I'm telling you right now, for everyone who's looking, because it's recruiting season, right? And in truth, it's always about recruiting, right? When I first learned about Thrive, I learned that you guys always just focus on the products. I never heard anything about recruiting. And I was like, what the heck? Like, this is so different than every other network marketing company out there, because every other network marketing company focuses on recruiting. I would know because I have that experience. Guess what? When I came into Thrive, because the products work so well, because you can feel your vitamins working, no wonder why people focus on just the products alone, right? And now though, right, because everything rises and falls in leadership, what is the message and the narrative that's being spread? Recruiting season. It's time to go out. It's time to change the game. It's time to change the story, right? It's time to change the mindset. It's not just change, right? It's not just change. It's about adding. It's about adding and becoming and evolving into something different, right? Move with the times. Well, guess what? It's always been about recruiting, no matter what. Every single business out there, every single person who is successful, a high performance achiever, a business owner, you're always looking for talent. You're an investor. You're always looking for the next good idea to invest in, right? You're always looking to recruit the best thing possible into your life. In network marketing, it's the same thing. Where's your rock stars? Who's the next best talent that you're going to recruit? Because of you, because of your personal development, because of your leadership mentality, because of your mindset, because of your self-mastery, because of who you are. If you're not the best version of yourself, don't expect the best to be with you. Does that make sense? It's true. That's the same message for us. Anything that I'm sharing, anything that Crystal is sharing, it's literally a reflection off of what's inside and what we're working on as well, and what we have to attain and achieve. This right here is literally a direct reminder to Shun Gunna to step up, to get better. All right. So this right here again, okay? Like all of this is the mastermind, the fire hour, transformation, life change, wealth in all aspects of life. This is abundance. This is not just for you. This is for us. This is for me. If I don't show up, who am I not showing up for? I'm not showing up for myself. Same thing with you. Same thing with all your team members. Same thing with everyone who hops on Fire Hour. If you don't show up, if you miss, because it was an excuse, right? There was just a reason to miss, and you fulfilled that reason to miss. That's an excuse that's fulfilled. Guess what? What are you missing out on? What's the opportunity cost, right? There's many different things when it comes to the reason why I'm talking about this is because Opportunity costs, right? Showing up. It's directly correlated to networking, because I talk about two things with networking. When I was teaching, so I have, it's highstatusnetworking.com. Okay. Highstatusnetworking.com. It's a private coaching program for networking, specifically for business owners and entrepreneurs. It's for people who want to network with high status individuals. It's for people who are looking to expand their network. High status networking. One of the fundamental things I talk about in it is literally a mindset thing. It's called two things. You show up, okay? The first thing is you show up in person. The second thing is you show up online. You have to be on both. You have to show up on both. And I'm going to share with you why. In 2018, when I started to build my personal brand, like heavily, like that was my full-time thing, I was always showing up online through my Instagram, through my stories. Literally, I'm on a podcast, and in the podcast, there's other influencers on it, and they're talking about how Shungana, the brand Shungana, has more stories than they've ever seen in their entire life. That's because I was literally showcasing my stories, my life, like literally 24/7. Like it was ridiculous. Like I can't believe I did that, but I did. I did that. So I maxed out the stories. Like it's ridiculous. For anyone who like went through my stories and they actually watched, like I appreciate you, because I can't believe the garbage that you were seeing probably.
I didn't know you then. I didn't see it. I would have been like, yo,
I was like just
what's this
partying,
guy doing?
just partying nonstop, traveling nonstop, working nonstop, hustling nonstop. I was still doing personal development. I was still working on it, but I was slowly going down because yeah, because I was not intentional. I was not focused, but I was showing up though. That was the one thing I needed to do. My principle: show up, right? Show up online. So I'm in the stories doing everything. One day I get invited to an event in Florida. So I was in California in Newport Beach. I get invited to an event in Florida. It's a networking business entrepreneur event. I'm just walking around in the event, and this guy literally sees me and he's like, yo, Shungana, bro, I need to pay you right now. I need you. He pays me $2,500 for consulting. Literally on the spot. I never met this person ever. First time I meet him. And he's like, yo, Shungana, I've seen you online. I need you. Boom, done. $2,500 in. Like that. Instantly. Why? It's because I was always showing up online. This guy's I don't even know if he's from Florida or not, but he showed up at that event. He saw me in person one time. The moment he met me, the moment we shook hands, he was talking business to me, and then he paid me. That's how fast it is when you start to show up online every single day and be consistent. And then from there, show up in person, because the people are going to watch your stories. They're going to watch how you move online. They're going to see your brand grow. They're going to see you building, right? If you're showing up online. And then what's going to happen sooner than later is they're going to see you in person. And when they see you in person, whatever they're seeing online is what's in their head, right? The story that's in their head that's playing. And then from there, if you have something of value to them, and they're looking for opportunity. They're looking to get started with you as, with your product or service, with your idea. It's like that, okay? It happens fast. It's instantly, because you're now fulfilling a need, right? In business, sales is all just about fulfilling needs. It's value exchange. Do you have what I need? Yes. Okay, can I pay it? Yes. Okay, boom, done. Close the deal. Same thing with Thrive, right? Same thing with all the businesses, the ideas, the ventures, etc. So networking, right? There's two aspects to it, because we live in a social media world, right? Show up online and show up in person. So now the question is next, right? So where do you show up in person, and how do you show up in person? Okay, there's two things to answer, right? That's for you. It just depends. Where are you going, right? A lot of people asked me before, where can I find high status individuals? How can I find and connect with high status people? Because that's the whole entire point of high status networking. Well, guess what? Think about high status people. Think about like influencers, celebrities. Where do they show up? Think about highly successful entrepreneurs and business owners. Where are they? They might be at their jobs. They might be at the business that they own, right? It depends. It depends on who it is. It depends on who you're trying to reach, right? But not only that, when it comes to networking, right, there is psychology, okay? There is different ways to network. And in my opinion, there is a right way to network and there is a wrong way to network. And I want to teach you the right way to network the first time. So that way, when you actually start to go out there, then you're actually crushing it. And you're not, there's like different stages, but I'm going to get water. So that's going to be on pause right now.
Yeah. So I feel like another part of networking is edification, right? So one of the things that we learn is edification. And even if you know if you do this or not, you probably have been doing it your entire life. You just didn't know. And if you guys haven't learned about edifying yet, or maybe you forgot, basically edifying is you're saying something really good about someone, right? So for example, in this business specifically, if you are someone and you are new and this is something that you've never done before, your network and the people that know you, they don't know you for selling vitamins. They don't know you for out of nowhere you developing personally and wanting to do something different and creating this side business in order to change your life, right? But if you're like, so and so got me into this, or so and so introduced me, and you know their 30-second story, then the person that you're talking to about your business, about your products, they'll probably be like, oh, okay, so you have someone that's credible, that's doing this with you, that's taking you along the journey. Okay, then I can kind of trust you a little bit more, right? Because at the end of the day, your friends or your network, they only know you for who you were, who you are, and they've seen you do all your crazy wild things before, so they're like, all of a sudden you're going to change, and they won't be able to see that change until a while longer, right? Sometimes it takes time to build consistency and to build habits in order to change and to be a better person, right? So in the beginning, when you're new, you want to edify someone, you want to get to know like a leader's 30-second story, or you want to get to know someone else's 30-second story that you feel would relate to the person that you're speaking to, right? So this goes to a little bit of psychology, right? Like, who is this person that I'm talking to? What part do I think they'd be interested, or what do I know that they would want, right? And that's how you have to like cater your message, right? And then who else is a part of our community that is like them too? Are they a nurse? Are they a teacher? Are they an entrepreneur? Are they a stay-at-home mom? Like, who knows who they are, right? But if you have this huge community, leverage your community and leverage the people that you know and their stories that you know in order to talk to someone, from your network about this opportunity or about the product, right? So that's a little bit about this business. I remember when we first started edification, like it's so huge. So I don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone still does that, but what it is like, you're like, oh, I got into this business because of so and so, and you edify them and you highlight everything about them, right? So that gets someone interested in what you're doing, because they might not believe you, like they might have just seen you yesterday, like at the club getting drunk and acting stupid, right? And so how are they going to believe you? And how are they going to like understand that like you're a legitimate person, like on this path, right? And you can be both, right? But it's like, how do you present yourself out there? What kind of person are you? What are you doing, inside your home, and what are you doing outside your home, right? The one thing that I notice is sometimes people are different, right? You're one way, behind closed doors, and then you're another way on the outside, right? So get to know yourself, become more self-aware of like your tendencies and how you act in front of people and how you act when you're not in front of them, because the things that you do behind closed doors, they will show up outside, right? So be self-aware as to like some of your habits. I was just talking about edification.
I heard
Yeah.
babies.
I know the baby's like crying on and off. She's been going through like another regression, so it's been pretty rough.
I mean, it's just is what it is. But yeah, you can, like I used to be that person that I was literally like drunk every single day.
I met you blacked out.
Yes, that's what happened. And you know what? Like, I'm happy that, that was just part of my life. That was just who I was before. And I've been sober now for, I'm going to go on 3 years next year. All right, 3 years sober next year, 3 years alcohol free next year. So, boom, what's up? Everyone who's on their journey, whatever challenges you had prior to who you were before, right? You can overcome it by creating a different version of yourself. But back then, you know, I was literally doing that. I was showing up online like that, what she was talking about. And part of your credibility, part of like who you are, your brand, right? It's about what you show online, what your message is to the world, right? So, you know, my whole message back then when I was building my brand, my personal brand, was dominate your path, right? Live your best life, dominate your path. And obviously, in hindsight, because I know better now, right? Do you think I was dominating my path when I was like all messed up? I wasn't, right? I thought I was, but that's not the truth, right? That at the time, that's what I thought. But now I just know better, right? And I'm not a little boy. So it's like, let's grow up. Anyways, networking, okay? Networking. So because there's different ways to network, right? If you're a girl, it's completely different than when you're a guy because there's something called status, okay? I call it the 3 positions of status. I'm gonna make it super simple. There's low status, there's low status, there's no status, and there's high status. Okay. Which position do you want to be in? Obviously, the high status position, right? Even if you don't want to be seen, even if you're introvert, right? You're introvert, you don't want to be seen, you don't want to talk to anyone, you don't want to connect with people, but you're building a business. So you better talk to people, you better connect with people somehow, some way. So yeah, and when it comes to being in the different positions, right? Low status, no status, high status. No matter what, every single person, whether they like it or not, and whether they admit it or not, they want to be in a high status position. Why? That's human nature. Okay. It's because that's evolution. That's literally like it's part of evolution. All right. Everyone out there who has social circles, who's like a popular, who's not popular, whatever the case may be for you, the people who have high status, you will notice this. They are like the most popular people in their group. They are the ones that are like always out. They are the ones that are super well connected. They are the ones that people want to be around. They want to get connected with. They want to be invited to their parties. They want to be invited to their freaking homes. Like all these things. Okay. Think of just for yourself. Just use your imagination. Think of all the people in your life that are high status, in a high status position. Who are they? What do people want from them? Right? What do people want from them? Because that's what happens. When you have clout, when you have high status, people want from you. That's something that happens. Okay. That's good and bad. Okay. There's always going to be the duality, good and bad for both things, positive and negative for both things. However you see it is how you see it. But there's different stages to it. And every single time you connect with someone new, this is the most important thing about connecting, right? This is called high status networking. Every single time you connect with someone new, what's going to happen is perception, a battle of perceptions. The perception based on how you meet that person's perception on you is either going to be low status, no status, or high status. Whenever that happens, the best position to be in is obviously high status. The second best position to be in is no status, where it's a clean slate still, where you still have an opportunity and chance to showcase the best version of yourself, because you should always showcase the best version of yourself. I don't care what anyone else says. You should always do your best to show up for yourself first and foremost as your best version of yourself. And then from there, let life happen, let life unfold, right? But the third position that you never want to be in, no matter what you're doing in your life, no matter what circle you're in, no matter what career you're in, no matter what business you're doing, no matter where you are in your life, don't ever find yourself in a low status position. Why? Not only does it do you a disservice for yourself in your life, but again, we live in a world where there's other people. That's why I said you're going to network for the rest of your life. You're going to be surrounded with people for the rest of your life. Don't find yourself in a place or position of low status in any place that you are, in your friend group, in your family circle, in your business circle, on social media, wherever it is. Okay. I'm going to tell you a story. I got invited. This is like in Irvine. I got invited to a childhood friend's family business. Okay. And in that family business, I didn't know that the family, this is just my observations. I don't know if it's true or not, but just from my experience and my skill set, it is true. Okay. And I'm going to be very polarizing because I don't care, because I'm going to start with the truth and end up there anyways. Okay. I'm always going to tell the truth no matter what. And this is for him. This is for him. If he ever sees this, it's for him to understand that it's not good to be in a low status position. It's good to be in a high status position. And I will help him get there if he's willing to be coachable and open. Okay. But he invited me to his family business, right? There, it's a big family, it's a big company in Irvine. I didn't know though that when I walked into that family business, just to be given a tour of their company, I didn't know that the family perceived him as low status. I didn't know that. So when I walk in, all the interactions that I'm getting is low status interactions, right? What do you think a low status interaction is? People are ignoring you. People are being disrespectful to you. People are rude to you. People are not giving you their time, right? People are not paying attention to you. People are not literally even connecting or talking to you. People are looking down on you. That's low status experiences right there. That's what happens when you are in a low status position. Trust me, I've been there in many, many times in my life. Okay. Just because that's just my life. That was just where it was. Right. And then when I start to learn about skill sets, when I start to learn about networking the right way, when I start to learn about marketing, when I start to learn about business, when I start to learn about personal development, mindset, working on me, getting better, evolving, becoming the best version of myself, then I start to understand, oh, okay, this is how the world works. This is how the real world works. The real world is we live in a world with other people. There is low status, no status, and high status because of people's perceptions, because people are always judging. In business, it's ideal for you to be in a high status position. Guess what? When I was walking into that tour, and I am in a high status position, yet because I was associated with someone who had a perception of low status on them, that low status transferred to me. So I call that status transfers. I taught this to my VIPs in the high status networking program. I taught them that the fastest way to build your status is through status transfers. How do you do it? Well, you have to associate yourself with high status people. Because the perception of low status was on my friend, guess what happened to me? That perception transferred to me. That family and that company, they don't know who I am. All they know is I'm associated with someone who's low status. Guess what? Now I'm now perceived as low status in their eyes. So I was like, oh my God, this whole entire experience I was looking forward to, like, it's whack now. It's like I don't even want to be here anymore, right? That's how it was. Guess what? Ask yourself this question. Ask yourself the question of, in your life, in areas of your life, where are you perceived as low status? Where are you perceived as high status? Where are you perceived as no status? Right? I remember one time I was talking to an influencer about this, about high status positions. And because they're an influencer, like, they have ego, obviously. They were like, you know what? Like, that status, the whole status game thing, like that's cool, but it's not my thing. And I'm like, okay, well, guess what? Why are you an influencer then? Right? Why do you care so much about being an influencer?
Yeah.
You are in a high status position because of your influence. Just because I'm a newcomer and I'm coming up doesn't mean that you're going to hate on me. Just because of like this new like knowledge and game that I'm giving to the world. Right? But that's business right there. That's competition. Right? The people in high status positions who don't work on themselves, they sometimes spot talent and they're like, oh man, like this guy, like he's talented, but he's my competition. Right? There's no way I'm going to collaborate with this guy just because of my ego, just because he's talking about high status and I don't like it. Come on. Like, you're in a high status position. Why is your ego so high? Be humble, right? Guess what? That's what you're going to happen. That's what's going to happen in your life. When you start to level up in your life, you start to go from low status to high status. There's going to be a lot of people that are judging ego. There's going to be ego battles. There's going to be competition, right? It's about collaboration though, right? That's the new thing, right? That's always been around, but a lot more people are starting to get more knowledgeable, start to get educated, start to lower the ego, right? And start to be just more mindful, right? It's about collaboration. It's about freaking communications. It's community. It's unity. It's coming together as one, helping each other win, helping each other eat, right? That's the only way we're going to evolve, right? So like all the people, that's why I'm telling you right now, personal development, mindset, getting better, right? Becoming the best version of yourself. You're not going to judge people when you start to learn about all this stuff. You're going to observe them, right? You're going to be watchful and you're going to analyze and read the patterns. So that way you don't get hurt, right? In the process, right? You don't get taken from, you don't get taken advantage of, right? There's givers and takers again. You're going to spot the takers. You're going to cut them out of your life right away, basically. That's ideally what you should do, because once a taker, always a taker. And people can change, right, when they work on themselves. But again, do you want to go through painful experiences like that? I don't think so, right? I would hope that you don't. But it's about working on you. It's about learning about psychology, about reading people, about networking. That's what it is. It's the skill set of networking. Sorry, did you want to say?
No.
Okay, all right. So let's keep on going then. So givers and takers, right? Low status, no status, high status. How do you get yourself out of a low status position, right? How could I get myself out of a low status position when that happened, in that experience? Well, guess what? Obviously, there's different ways, right? There's many different layers to it. It depends on your goals. For me, I really don't care about being seen as high status in that circle, right? With my friend and his family in that circle, I don't care. Why? Because I see the character. I see the integrity. I see like who they really are now. You see what I'm saying? For me, I'm not in a position of neediness, or I'm not being, you never be thirsty. Okay. That's something that's like high status networking rule number 91. If you're in the desert, okay, and there's no oasis at all, there's no water whatsoever, and you're going to die, never be thirsty. Okay. You can drink water, but never be thirsty. You cannot be thirsty. Okay. That's high status networking rule number 91. Okay. All my VIPs know this. Never be thirsty, never be needy. Because when you are in that position, it's game over for you. You automatically go from high status to low status, no matter where you are, no matter what circle you're in, no matter what you're doing. Okay. So never be thirsty. So in that position, in that experience with my friend and his family, I don't care. Because again, I'm seeing through them. I'm reading them. I'm like, all right, you're gonna judge people based on your own perceptions, your lack of personal development. That sucks, right? And you're making all this money, you're making millions and millions of dollars, but yet you can't even be a good human being, right? Come on. So there's a really good book called by Eckhart Tolle, The New Earth. Every time I drop a book, right, for those students who are serious, who are coachable, pick it up. Pick up that book, okay? The New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. It's such a good book. It's going to teach you about the ego. It's going to teach you about the pain body. It's going to teach you about mindfulness, about going back within. It's going to teach you about not judging people. This is going to help you in your everyday life, with your family, with your friends, with your business partners, with your associates, with your employees, with every single interaction that you have with another person. Even when you're driving, you're interacting with people, right? If you ever, who here has ever driven a car and has ever been stuck in traffic and has ever been triggered by road rage?
People are so brave behind their wheel. They're so brave.
All right, so listen.
Behind that windshield.
I saw Twin raise her hand.
Like a moat. It's like a moat. You're behind the steering wheel and behind a window and some metal, and all of a sudden you're invincible.
So in that book, The New Earth, they talk about that. They talk about road rage. You live in Florida.
Is Florida better because California is
No.
insane?
It's everywhere, okay? It's anywhere you are. It's anywhere people are. Anywhere people are. The reason for that is because of the pain body. It's something called the pain body. Just don't do it in Texas. No, it's awful. I hate driving. I only like driving fancy cars. I don't like driving vans. I don't like driving.
You can get a fancy car and I can drive your car.
No, anyways, every man, based on what you like, you'll want to drive a better car, a performance vehicle for sure. And once you're in it, once you experience it, you're going to want to drive that no matter what. But yeah, anyway, it just depends on what your preference is. But the pain body, okay? In The New Earth, the book The New Earth, highly, highly recommend to get it, okay? That, and read it. Read it, please. Read it or listen to the audio, whatever form you want to digest faster or can consume and really receive the knowledge, the information. They talk about the pain body. They talk about how road rage happens, how it's triggered. Every single person, every human being has something called the pain body within. If you've ever been triggered by road rage, guess what? That's because the pain body was activated, right? If you've ever been in an argument, if you've ever been like upset, mad, it's all the pain body, right? So again, when you're driving, right, you're always interacting with other people, no matter what. No matter what, it goes back to self-development. It goes back to self-mastery. It goes back to how well do you know yourself? Because you're networking with people. I'm telling you right now, when you're signaling, you're communicating to someone else, right? When you're stopping, you're braking. There's the red lights in the back, the brake lights. You're talking to someone else. It's networking. How you drive, when people, have you ever experienced this? You were following someone else and you didn't know that it was your friend, but they were like driving like crazy, or they were driving like, they were just driving really bad, and you're like judging them. You're like, bro, like this guy,
It's unstable.
this girl, they suck at driving. Like, why are they even on the road? Right? But they're your friend. So then you pass up to them and you see them, you look over and like, oh my God, it's my friend. And then all those feelings are like gone. Right? That's part of networking. Okay. I know it's a stupid story, but it's part of networking. It's part of reading people. I was always taught don't mind others' actions. They might be having a bad day, and have sympathy and compassion, and I can only control my reactions. Yes.
Yep.
My dad was always so calm. 100%. 100%. That is golden.
Yeah.
And guess what? Like that right there is one of the principles, right? Not only that, it's about I think it's in the 4 agreements, right? Never take anything personal. The 4 agreements. Never take anything personal. Right? Only focus on yourself. Why? It's because when you focus on other people, you're not focusing on yourself. It's that simple. Thrive has helped my road rage quite a bit, honestly. That's good. That's good. Mental clarity, self-care, right? You're feeling good.
Yeah.
The New Earth, every single person here who picks it up, I'm pretty sure you can find it for free on like YouTube or something. The New Earth, that book right there, especially for those of you who are on like your spiritual journey, or you're looking to get better within, right? You want more fulfillment. The New Earth, that book, that's probably one of my top recommendations for sure. Everyone in the nonprofit, like in the Love Tower, all of us, I'm pretty sure a majority of us have read the New Earth book, because that's something that we share. Like we like to share the books that and resources and tools that help us get better, that help us lower our judgment, lower the ego, lower and raise the compassion, the understanding, right? That's what we do, right? With the Love Tower, we have to be an embodiment of love and compassion and unity and kindness. If we're not, then that's the energy that's attached, right?
Yeah, it's the representation. Like, who are you guys representing? What groups and communities are you a part of? And who are you, right? Because every time you guys step out, whether you're in your car and you think you're hidden, or you're at work, or you're at a club, or you're at a business networking event, or even in a grocery store, like
Everything.
you are representing someone and something that you stand for, right? So whether you think someone sees it or someone doesn't know who you are, like you'd be surprised. Sometimes the world is really small, and with social media, like things that are negative go out much faster than things that are positive. So you can do 1,000 great things, very positive things, and no one can ever see that, right? And you can do one negative thing, and like everything positive that you ever did, you just ruined your reputation and hundreds of hours of work in that one moment you made a bad decision, right? So again, it goes back to self-awareness, something that we all should work on. Regarding the book that you were talking about, I had picked it up a long time ago, and it was difficult for me to read, right? And so when it came back around the second time, I was like, you know what, let me give this a try again. And the second time around, it was much easier for me to listen to and understand it. And I would say like I feel like other good books are by Gabby Bernstein, and it's a little bit more feminine, but for me, this was kind of like my break into when I started to work on myself in like the spiritual aspects, right? And spirituality, it could be religious, it could not be religious. But Gabby Bernstein was a good one. Like The Universe Has Your Back, and then like
that.
yeah, The Universe Has Your Back, and then also like she had a couple other books out there about like judgment, right? Because every day at every moment, we're always judging, right? Regardless, like it doesn't matter who you are, how much personal development you've done, you're always judging someone or something, right? But sometimes when you're judging someone or judging something, sometimes it's really what's going on internally, right? Because if you're judging someone in a good way, like I don't know if there is a good way to judge them, but yeah, so The Judgment Detox, that's what it's called, right? So that's a really good book to be able, if you guys start with The New Earth and you do your best to listen to it and you're just not feeling it, I feel like her books were really like the opening of other things that were a little bit deeper.
Yeah, one quick tip like for reading, right? Because there's, especially for people who are beginners at reading, whenever I speak to someone that they want to get into reading, right? It's hard for them to take action on reading because they just never done it. It's a skill they have to acquire and learn. There's better ways to read books, but it just depends on the skill set that you're learning. When it comes to reading, if you're picking up a book,
Sorry.
if you're picking up a book and it's hard for you to get into it, it's hard for you to digest it, and it's going over your head, then move on. Okay, move on to another book, right? And the reason for that is because like the most important thing about reading books is about downloading the knowledge, getting the information, right? So when it comes to reading books, if a book is so heavy for you, like it's hard for you to digest, it's hard for you because it's going over your head, then guess what? Like it don't take it personally. Just know that it just requires more skills. It requires better understanding. It requires you understanding yourself and learning about you, right? So when it comes to like, the new earth, it might be heavy, it might not, who knows, right? You don't know, like I don't know your journey, right? You know yourself. So guess what? Just pick it up anyways. Pick it up anyways.
Yeah, it's where you're at sometimes too. Like where are you at, right? Because there's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So where are you at in life? Maybe that's something that you don't need or that you don't want or you don't even care for right now. Who knows, right? But it may make its way back around. And for me, the second time back around, I was like, this is gold,
Yeah.
But the first time around, I was having a really hard time comprehending it. So I went on to other books that I was like, okay, I get this. This is kind of like my language, right? It's easier for me to understand. And yes, that's awesome. Thank you, Sierra. It is 60% off today on Amazon. So thank you, Sierra, for being an action taker and looking up right away and then sharing with
Nice.
everyone. Thank you.
Nice. Yeah, it's so good. Like each one teach one. And not only that,
Oh,
but
that's new.
each one teach one.
I don't think you said that before to me.
That's hip hop. That's from breaking. My breaking days. Each one teach one. I don't like reading too. I have ADHD. I honestly read a book. All right. I honestly read a page, reply, feel it, and then apply. I read in moderation. Really. That makes sense.
You know what? I'm that way too. Like as much as I would love to pick up a book and read, like I used to do that when I probably had less responsibilities and I can read through like at least a chapter before I knock out. And so this industry introduced me to Audibles and he introduced me to a better way of Audibles and actually finding free resources online at YouTube as well. And how to listen, and once I started listening to it, I was like, okay, now I can digest books a lot faster. So some people like to read, some people like to listen, whatever you guys do, like something is better than nothing.
Better way than Audible. Okay, so let me share with you guys this because like it's about the mindset and the skill of how to read. Okay, there's especially like, okay, this is what I learned from my mentor. Okay, go on YouTube. This is like homework because we're gonna go on YouTube, type in Tai Lopez 33%. Let me just double check because it's just gonna be so good. Or TEDx Talk. Okay, Tai Lopez TED Talk. Okay, it's called Why I Read a Book a Day and Why You Should Too. The Law of 33%. That was one of the first videos I saw and watched before I worked with Tai. And he talks about mentors basically. But when I started to learn from Tai himself, like at one point in time when I was working with Tai, I had to buy his books. I had to go to Barnes and Nobles in LA and I would literally like buy thousands of dollars of books. So I would have a stack of freaking books like I can't even carry by myself. But I would go to Barnes and Nobles, I would select all the books. And some of the books that I picked out is on his top 100 book list on his page. But basically, like, he taught me how to read. He taught me how to read better. And one of the ways to read is, because like what Angela said, I don't like reading too, and I honestly read a page. So let me share with you guys just a little tactic real quick. When it comes to Audible, when it comes to reading, okay, this is going to be about physical books, reading physical books. This was a gift that I got from one of our good friends, Anna. It's called Surviving a Startup. She gave me this book. I finished it in 1 week. I finished the entire book from front to back in 1 week. But basically, for me, because I know how to read, that's just for myself. I just know how I consume content, how I educate myself, how I can understand the information better. For me, because I have a physical copy of the book, what I do, and this is something I learned from a mentor, is I don't read from front to back in a physical book. What I read is I go straight to the chapter. Okay, I'm just going to teach you real quick. I go straight to the content page. In a physical book, I go straight to the content page and I look at, what do I need right now in my life? What am I looking at right now? What am I working on? What do I need help on? What is something that I really need information on right away, right now in this moment, right? Speed. I want to get the information now, not later. Guess what? Let's see. Narrative types, 49. So I highlighted this. I just go straight to 164. I don't read anything else. I don't read the front, the back. I don't read nothing. I just go to 164. Let's see what I got. I don't even know what I got. I forgot.
I actually used to do this too before he introduced me to it. I
Check
did
this.
it. I did it on my own, and no one ever taught me.
This is how I read.
I would just go through chapters.
So guess what? Narrative types. Okay, boom. I highlighted it. For every business, there are many different types of stories you can construct. Here's a list of some of the most popular ones. Now I have a list of all the narrative types in business. Let me just read them off. Success stories, personal stories, cause stories, scary stories, data stories, growth stories, trend stories, future stories, underdog stories, disaster stories, wacky stories. I told you guys a wacky story with the freaking car and like judging people and saying like, oh, it's your friend. Okay, that's a wacky story. Dirty stories. Okay. All right. So there's many, like, boom. I got the gold that I needed right away. Okay. That's what you want to do when you're reading a book. Don't read from front to back. Don't read page to page. Like, if it works for you as page to page, then do that. But for me, I'm looking for gold. I'm a gold miner. I'm digging for the knowledge, for the nuggets, the golden nuggets, the 1% that I just need right now in this moment. I look at the content page, table of contents, whatever stands out to me that I need right away. I go straight to that. Look, another one. Chapter 78, the unfair advantages, 268, page 268. I go straight to 268. What do I see? Boom, the unfair advantage. So the unfair advantage, winning business isn't about being fair. And that's true, because competition, right? Business is war. Companies win precisely because they have an unfair advantage over the competitors. I call high status networking the unfair advantage. That's in my slideshow for high status networking. The unfair advantage. It's impossible to command high profit margins and dominate a market if your company is just like everyone else. Here, I've outlined various ways companies put up barriers to protect their businesses, block competitors, and control markets. Do you think that this is a valuable chapter? Yes. Okay. If you're in business, right? In 2018, I created the unfair advantage for high status networking. And I literally got this book about like a month ago or 2 months ago, right? It was a gift from my friend. See? And guess what? Like, it has information, right? It's relevant. It's 2021. It's a book that's relevant now. So there's many different ways to read a book, but one of the best ways I learned from my multimillionaire mentor was don't just read from front to back. There's no rule to read from front to back. You break the rules and go find that gold, right? Just one little thing, one sentence. Why do startups fail? I just need to find that one sentence of what makes sense to me, and I'm done. Then I close the book and I move on. Okay. Every single thing that you're consuming. That's the beauty of books. That's the beauty of physical books, is you can skim through it, find the gold right away of what you need now, and get it and implement it right away and move on. Speed. Okay. Speed. When it comes to audios like Audible, one of the hacks of Audible is training yourself to consume the information faster. How? 2x speed, 3x speed. Rewind if you need to, but that is one way to get better. When you're watching YouTube videos, there's a Google Chrome extension called Speed Controller. I use that for speeding up all the videos I need to consume. When I'm like researching the iPhone 15 and I'm like, should I get the 15? Should I get the 15 Pro or should the 15 Max, right? That's a question for everyone. Do you guys, if you're an iPhone user, do you like 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max? Which one? Like, which one should we get? What's the reason, right? For me, I researched like 10 different videos because there's like an overheating problem with the iPhone or whatever. And I'm like, damn, like, should we make the jump or not? Well, guess what? I decided we're gonna make the jump. But consuming that content, like, it's a waste of my time to like watch the video at 1x speed. Like, I have other things to do. I don't have 20 minutes to watch like 10 videos, right? I gotta watch the 10 videos in 5 minutes. I skip around. I break all the rules, skip around the video, 2x, 3x speed. And then from there, I get what I need. I exit the video, I move on with my life. Same thing with audibles. Hi. 2x speed, 3x speed, however you can consume it and understand what you're consuming. Then from there is you know, how you learn, how you perceive it. Oh, he said hey.
Yeah, she said hey.
Hi. Want to say hi? Good job. Okay. All right, we gotta go. So that was just a little hack, but you know, however you want to learn, it's about, always know this. Here's a framework for yourself. Any skill, okay? Any skill that is new to you and that you're already doing. Any skill. It's about getting better. It's about knowing how you consume. It's about knowing how your skill set is and how to level up your own skill set, okay? Jackie says, wow, twin is cooking.
She read a book.
Devin is here. Oh, that's great. Good job. Good
I'm
job.
just kidding. I don't know. Maybe she watched YouTube.
Thank you, Mimi. Yeah. So again, you know, like skill sets. You can always get your skills better, right? Remember the talent code, right? We did a training on the talent code on Fire Hour. The talent code is about how do you grow your skill set? How do you speed up the skill, your talent, right? Rewatch that video. Rewatch that episode. It's on YouTube. Guess what? When you start to get better at your skills, when you start to increase your skill set, you start to level up the mastery of your skill. You can consume faster. You can go faster. You can just speed up everything. Okay. So that's the whole point. But yes, it's time to feed her breakfast, and we got to be on a strict schedule so we can be on our schedule. All right.
Yes, inflation.
Inflation.
Crazy. Yes. She's like, inflation got me cooking. It's so true though. Like groceries, like if you guys go grocery shopping, like you look at your receipt and you're like, what the? I just purchased everything that I normally purchase. Even that went up, right? So imagine dining out, right? Because you're paying for a service as well. And there's nothing wrong with cooking at home. Like it's much healthier, but yeah.
I mean, if you can afford it and you can get like meal plan ready because you want, it just depends. Okay. It depends on where you're at in your life. But again, what we talked about before, decrease input, increase output. That was on another Fire Hour training. Okay. How do you maximize your time? And if you have the resources, how do you allocate those resources so that way you can implement and achieve faster results, better results, be more efficient, right? Maximize your life, live your best life. Skill sets. Okay. Skill sets is everything. I know we touched a little bit on networking on this call. We can go deeper like another time, maybe not next week, but you know, if you guys have questions about networking, then just leave it in the comment section. Okay. Well, we gotta dip out. All right. It's time for breakfast. It's time to dominate our day. Let's get it. All right. Bye. Have an amazing day. Crush it. We love you all. Dominate your path. Let's make it happen. All right. Peace out.
Love you. Bye.